I agree.
It's going to be a fun match. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a fun match. This is actually a game I haven't gotten to see a whole lot of, so I'm actually really excited. But by all means, whenever you guys are ready to go, I just want to get started and kind of see what this is going to behold. It's been quite a hot minute.
All right. So hi, I'm Jack, aka Bramhall the Fifth, and I'll be your runner today. And so I'll start time in 5 seconds, I guess. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, easy. Alright, so this is E7. It is an action role-playing game released for the PlayStation Portable in 2009 and ported to PC in 2012 in China only and worldwide on Steam in 2017. And so the last one is what I'm going to be playing today. This is the Turbo category. On the speedrun.com leaderboards, the difference between Turbo and non-Turbo is about an hour, so there are some sections of the game that are going to vanish, and the methods by which I will be doing this range from very, very difficult to completely impossible or unviable without Turbo. So, if you want to see kind of a broken experience, this will be the run for you. My setup here is I'm using the Fujiworks Kiwami PS2 Turbo controller, as well as Joy-to-Key, which has an auto-repeat function, and I can use Turbo through that as well. The interesting thing about this game is that it actually takes keyboard and controller inputs independently of one another, so the game runs at 60 FPS. Normally you can only mash like 30 times a second, but with two input methods at the same time, I can get up to 60. So, skip the tutorial, please. So the story here is that our protagonist here, Adol Kristen, the protagonist of most of the entire E-series, has gone out on an adventure. He's found himself in the land of Altago. He initially gets thrown in jail because they think he's a spy, and then the king hears that he's in town. Adol's, at this point in his life, kind of a world-famous adventurer, so he sends Adol out on a mission to go investigate a mysterious cave that has popped up near the town. And that's where I'm headed at the moment. This is the first game in the series to introduce a party system. You'll notice behind me is my friend Dogi with the blue hair. Dogi is going to be pretty integral to the Turbo strategy, as he has an attack combo that comes out on the first possible frame. In addition, this game has a block button that lets you guard attacks, and successfully blocking an attack will cancel your attack combo. So with those two tricks put together, you can actually pretty much infinite combo any boss in the game to death, given the right circumstances. So we'll be coming up on our first boss very shortly, and with any luck you'll see some of that. So we're coming up on the first boss. The attack I want him to do is, I want him to curl up and start spinning around the room. So I could be stuck here for a while I wait for him to do that. This could be it. There we go. Oh, he went the other way. Okay, so this fight's a little weird because you'll see he's at 1 HP right now. I'm supposed to finish him off in a scripted sequence where it's kind of the introduction to my extra skill, which is like your super limit break. Cat on my desk. So because he's at 1 HP, he's actually dead after the first hit. So if I just open the map, a dialog box will come up on the screen that'll cancel the rest of the animation. But if you want to see the super exciting super limit break extra attack, then I'll be using it several times. You'll be able to see the animation. So we've completed the request for the king, so we're going to go report back to him. While we were in the shrine, we received a message from a mysterious voice. Very interesting challenge, speedrun. Can I beat this game with a cat standing in front of my screen? On my desk. Alright, I apologize. I'm gonna have to get rid of the cat. I'm sorry. Normally I like to keep my cats around because, you know, they show up on camera and they're very cute, but if he's just going to be standing in front of my screen, then I can't really have that. Anyway, because we apparently have received communication from the Dragons of Altago, the king is going to send us on a little pilgrimage to visit the elemental shrines of the kingdom. So we're going to head off to the first one, which is the Earth Shrine in Chinoa Village, which is like a forest area. Before I do that, I'm going to stop into the shop, buy some revive items. I'm going to buy 2. One of them's required, the other one is just for safety. So our first mission is to head to the first village, but we're going to make a little bit of a detour before we do that to get a ton of levels. So, kind of like hidden around the land, around the map, are these gigantic super monsters who are kind of like hidden bosses. This first one right here is like way stronger than me. He'll like destroy me instantly, but you'll see that from that first boss fight, I have the method to take him on pretty efficiently. Alright, so I want to get him to walk into this corner here. Parry the stomp. Bring Adol back. And then position myself a little bit closer to the exit so that when he dies, I'm right to here. And he's gone. So that just brought me from level 4 all the way to level 16. Which is useful for a fight coming up, because I can't just glitch every boss to death in this game, because I need an attack that I'm able to parry off of and be able to hit the boss at the same time, and that's not always possible. So the extra levels definitely helps for the upcoming fight. I'm expected to be fighting this boss at about level 8 normally, like 8 or 9 maybe. So I'm a little bit cartoonishly overleveled. So we're coming up on the forest screen. On this first screen, there are a bunch of snakes, and they can drop an item called the Monster Hide, which I want 20 of because I want to be able to use the materials to synthesize a weapon later on. I need 4 of them. The other 3 can be found in chests, but the Monster Hides I have to farm. So I'm at 3 Monster Hides right now. Is there any donations that need to be read? You can go ahead and do that.
Not the only one donation, I just need to make sure it was caught, was the $7 donation from XWinG saying, well, I only did fall in thorns 1 time in this run. Wanted to give some more, so I add the difference of the run times. Yoko 4428 Reventure, and 442 equals 6 plus 1 4 drop. That's some good fun math for us in the morning. Party everyone with one of his emotes. So thank you so much, XWinG, for the $7 donation. And that's the only one we got currently. So get those donations in and let's go feed some kids, everyone. Anyway, back to you, Jack.
All right, so we have like a permission slip from the king to talk to the maiden of the next village, but this kid stole it, and then we went to go chase him, and then while we did that, we got attacked by this boar. But it's no problem. We have glitches and turbo, so we can just kill him. And the kid gave us our letter back, and thanks for saving his hide. So the village is coming up shortly. Right here. On that last screen, I picked up 11 Monster Hide, which is actually really, really good. Usually I get like 8 or 9. So I shouldn't have trouble. On the way out, I want to get the rest of the 20. So It's good that I'm over halfway there, especially since there are actually going to be more snakes on the way back. There are ones that don't spawn on the way over. So it turns out this kid that stole our letter is actually the Eldris's grandson, and I guess he wants to sneak away from his grandmother and join us on our trip. And he'll be joining us for the length of this dungeon only. His name is Elk. He rolls a lot faster than Adol, so I'll be using him in the front for movement. Otherwise, he's completely useless, and we're not going to be making much use of him, especially since he's going to be leaving the party right after I fight the next boss. Hello. So the gimmick behind the dungeons in this game is that there's usually an item you want to pick up that will be used for general progression throughout the dungeon. So like off to the left, there's like a gap that I need to be able to make a bridge, but I can't do that yet. I have to pick up an item first. And there's usually another item you have to get that will allow you to traverse environmental hazards of some kind. So there's one I have to pick up that'll let me walk on spikes, and that'll be how I get to the boss. So I'm coming up on the Great Tree Sap. That'll let me make bridges, such as right here. So I'm going to go back to that first screen, and I'll be able to make a bridge to access a different area of the dungeon. Ugh. The geometry in this area is a little bit awkward. There's a lot of tight corners you have to cut, and since I like to run on the D-pad, it makes it a little hard to move around sometimes. Especially since the dodge roll I'm using like kind of shoots me in one direction, and I don't have a lot of granular control over it. And there's a lot of wonky movement on this screen in particular. But anyway, I'm coming up on an item called the Diamond Boots. This will be what lets me walk over these thorns sticking out of the ground. Here they are. So I'll talk a little bit about the boss that I'm about to fight. He's kind of a spider, except he has 6 legs. So I guess he's not really a spider. But basically he's going to spend most of the fight invincible until I either fill up his stun bar or I break all of his legs. So the strategy is going to be, I'm going to fill up his stun bar when his last leg is like really low. And then while he's stunned, I'm going to break his last leg to kind of extend his vulnerability time. And hopefully I get all the damage I need in one cycle. Which shouldn't be too much of a problem because I'm super strong, but he can give me troublesome patterns to work with that make it more difficult. I'd say this guy's like closer to an antlion than a spider, but he does have kind of spider anatomy and he can spit webs. This is the move that I hate. Because it blocks him into the corner like that, makes him harder to hit. I think his leg here's still alive. Yeah. Alright. So, with the last hit of this extra move, which is kind of like a beam, I want to destroy his last leg. I think I got it. And now here I just spam until he dies. I should get it. Alright, there we go. So when I ran this on Big John's channel yesterday for Nothing But Speedruns, I failed the one cycle. He had 6 HP left. But thankfully I got it this time.
Let's do this.
So we're coming up on the Earth Altar. Whenever I visit the altar within these shrines, it gives me like a special power-up. So this one unlocks passive abilities. Each of the 7 characters that I can find in this game are going to give me like a special passive upgrade when if I have them in their party, which doesn't matter right now because I can't choose my party quite yet. But that'll be important for a little bit later when a certain character joins and will give me a passive buff to my experience gain. So we visited the Earth altar. We've received word from the Earth Dragon. So we're all finished here, and we will head back to town. And Elk is going to get scolded by his grandmother and then has to stay behind while we report back to Altigo City. So every time we visit one of those shrines, the dragon says some ominous stuff about the end of the world. So it's going to turn out, if you played Ys 8, that game kind of recycles this game's plot where there's some kind of cyclical rebirth of the universe, and we're kind of this era's chosen medium for communication with the dragons. So I'm coming back to this screen again, and I get to kill some more snakes. That puts me up to 14 monster hides. 16. I'm getting extremely lucky. There's 18. You'll give me the 20, right? Oh, he only dropped the iron ore. That's a rare drop. Monster hide is like a 90% drop, 10% for iron ore. Alright, that's 19. Should get 20 here. There it is. Double check. Yep. Alright, so what I want is 10 saplings, 20 monster horns, 20 monster hides, and 20 earth stones. And the other 3 I can just find in chests. So I'm done farming items for now. So in this run there's a lot of backtracking. This route was made a little bit more interesting by putting the scripted fight here. There's a young girl named Tia who's being attacked by monsters. So we just kill them. We're way too strong for them, so they just kind of die. If I mash there and pick the first option, I have to do an escort segment on the way back to town, and that's slow, so I have to say no. But I do have to be careful there about that. There's 2 escort sections in this game with Tia. Technically one of them is required, but I'm not going to be doing either of them. First I have to buy an item called the Mirror of Time. Yeah. And that's an item that'll let me freeze enemies in place. It's going to be important for a skip later. So here I'm headed to the HQ of the Dragon Knights, which is like the royal guard of Altigo. We're going to talk to the commander, who's actually the father of the elder of the next village that we have to go to. Not the commander, the general. I have to remember people's titles properly. So we got his letter, and now it is off to head to the village of Segram, or so we think. So on our way out of town, we're going to be approached by a young girl named Aisha. She's going to be our next party member. I don't think we're really supposed to know this yet, but she is actually the princess of Altigo in disguise. So secret princess cliche, I guess. She rolls a little bit faster than Adol, so I'm going to be putting her in the front. And here's where the game's going to get a little bit weird, because I said I'm supposed to go to Segram, but I'm not going to, because it's a little bit too early in the game for me. And I'd rather head to a later part, because that will help me finish the game faster. So I'm going to go to the screen where the entrance to the path to Kylos Village is, which is the 3rd village I have to visit. I'm going to do a little bit of trickery to get there, because the road's actually blocked off. So I'm saving and loading, because if this game is a weird property where you can't open chests if there are enemies too close, so I have to save and load, and that'll kind of reset the enemy's position so they're not in the way of me opening the chest. Anyway, that chest has the 15 saplings in it. I actually want only 10 of them, but that one has 15, so that's nice. Okay, so here's a little trick. So you see these little tiger kind of enemies that are lunging at me? So I'm going to reset him here. Go over here, get him to lunge at me in this corner. Then freeze him in place right here as he hits me. Guard his hitbox really, really quickly. Then launch like super high in the air. Then roll a little bit, keep saving and loading to kind of extend my distance, because saving and loading will reset my movement. That wasn't far enough. This barrier isn't that high, so I should make this. There we go. And now I'm in Kylos Gorge. So that's 3 dungeons and 4 bosses that I don't have to fight anymore. And the escort mission that I was talking about, that's part of the sequence that I skipped. Kind of the downside of this is that my characters are still level 16 from the dinosaur, but rather than being extremely over-leveled, we're now a little bit under-leveled. This is like a level 20-ish area. And Aisha is only level 10 because she just joined the party. So if she gets hit by anything, she dies, which is annoying because then I have to use Adol for movement, who's slightly slower. So, we're minding our own business when this jerk comes, and he challenges Adol to a duel because he recognizes him from an earlier adventure. This is Gaius from E6. Oh no, I lost. It's fine. It's way too slow to try to win that, so I just lose. And the game carries on as normal. So there's a little bit of tech to that, actually. This game has... Another mechanic with the guard is that if you mistime your guard, if you press the guard button too early, you actually take extra damage instead of blocking damage. So I wanted to I wanted to kind of manipulate the 4th hit to finish me off. Otherwise I would have had like a little bit of HP left. The game's kind of gone back and forth on whether or not it was faster to win or lose that fight, because before that skip to here was found, you would go to the desert area, and there would be another giant boss there that would overlevel you even farther, and then it would actually be faster to kill Gaius than to lose. So anyway, we've just recruited another character to our party named Mishera. She is going to be used 0 times in the run, because she doesn't really offer anything to the route. And like I said, I have to be careful, because if Aisha gets hit by anything, and some of the enemies do have projectiles that can kind of snipe me, she just dies. And I have to, like, again, I can bring her back pretty easily. There's, like, save monuments around, that if I touch those, it'll full heal my party. But there's only a handful of them here, and I can't really rely on them. So these tree trunks that shoot the tornadoes at me, it's a great example of something that can just kind of blindside me and then I get hit. Caught in a corner. This area also has some awkward geometry, not in the same way as the tree place, it's just that there's like little blocks that you don't expect to be there. I don't know if we've gotten any donations, but you can go ahead and read one of those.
No current donations yet, but if you got some donations to throw in, we got some good prizes and some good incentives that are going to be coming up here pretty soon.
Alright, so I just picked up the wind cape. Oh, Aisha just got killed. Great example of Aisha getting killed. If I put on the wind cape, I can ride the wind up here. And that unlocks a little bit more of the dungeon. So that's a broken pipe organ. I have to go find a pipe that will fix it. And then another thing I have to do as part of the dungeon is to point some fans into the organ for wind power. That's the monster horns right there. So I only have the earth stones left to find at this point. So the pipe I need is in this chest. And the fans are up here. So I turn the fan on the left. So these cutscene kind of animations, I can't fast forward through them, so this is like kind of a good time to put my controller down and take a sip of water or whatever. I'm gonna grab another revive item here, because why not? Then I'm gonna press that switch. It's easy to forget to press that switch, but if you do, then that barrier is still there, and then I have to do more backtracking. One thing I forgot to mention is that the Fire Shrine, which is the one that I skipped, actually gives me the ability to fast travel, so I'm not going to be having that available to me, unfortunately, for the rest of the run. And that makes a couple things a little bit tiresome. There's a lot more backtracking than there would be otherwise. But ultimately, it just saves way more time to skip about, what, a quarter of the game, maybe?
Well, if you got a quick spot, I actually do have a $20 donation from Cerberoth.
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
He just says, "This YS run is a fantastic run. Keep it up." So thank you, Cerberoth, for the $20 donation.
Oh, thank you. Another hydration break with this unskippable organ tune. And that'll open the final wind vent that'll take me to the boss room. And this is where we introduce a little bit of volatility to the run, because I'm going to be using the insta-kill glitch, sort of, but it's a little bit riskier this time around because of how underleveled I am. Actually, I want Dogi in the front here. And he only has a few attacks. He has more than most bosses, but I can't use all of his attacks to damage glitch, so I hope he does the right thing. This is iffy. Often this one fails, but I'll see what I can do. Got him. Alright, good. Whew, that's a little bit of a choke point there. But we're not done with the RNG yet. There's another boss coming up that's even worse than that. So coming up on the Wind Altar, this one is going to... I didn't mention charge attacks yet, but you can kind of hold down the attack button and to charge up your attacks. Then you release it, it'll do a stronger attack that regains more skill points, which is the blue notches in the bottom right of the screen, which is one of the benefits to charging up your attacks in addition to the additional damage. So what that does, what that shrine did was it shortened the charge time, which is actually going to be pretty useful. And it also increased the SP, which is skill points, the SP gain from charging attacks as well. Good to have in the run.
Another...
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just backtracking at this point.
I actually was going to say, I have a $10 donation from Frozer.
Hey, Frozer.
I might need a little assistance. I might need a little assistance with this question. He says, "Hey Jack, good luck with your good luck to your run. Just a question: is it called IIS, Wise, or YS?"
It's called Yes. So the way I tell people how to pronounce this is geese without the G.
Ah.
And I think that's commonly accepted. So,
thank you again, Frozer, for the $10.
Yes, thank you. So, I don't know how this works, but if I just, like, kind of tap on the D-pad here, it's a little finicky. Sometimes it doesn't always work. For some reason, in this particular spot, it makes me, like, kind of float in the air, which is good, because otherwise this would be a soft lock, and I wouldn't be able to get past that barrier. Because, I guess I didn't press the story trigger to clear that barrier yet, so it's still there, even though I've moved the story on at this point. So, like I said, I would ordinarily just be able to warp back to town, but I can't because I don't have warp. And so, I am crying. Palmy, can you remind us again what the donations are going to go to and what could possibly be in store for us if we donate?
Absolutely. I'm very glad you made mention of that, because we are actually benefiting all this to No Kid Hungry, a foundation here in America that is dedicated to helping feed children here in America who have been affected by the pandemic. This promises to help get us meals and get them fed. We got a lot of good incentives and prizes along the way, some of which is you've probably seen flash on screen, like the Super Metroid Perlers and a few other nice little goodies, which will be revealed at the end of our event. And SpeedGaming has been putting this on for the last couple of years. I've been a part of it, and it's been fantastic. And if you want more information about this marathon, of kind of its history and kind of what else we're about, you can check out speedgaming.org/NoKidHungry to see our list of prizes and the rest of our donation incentives. And it's a pretty good list. Go ahead and contribute if you'd like. All your donations that have comments I will go ahead and read, and other hosts like me will also go ahead and read. And every single donation you make goes directly to No Kid Hungry, no third parties.
That sounds amazing.
It absolutely is. So if you guys got a little bit of spare change this week, let's go ahead and get some kids some feed here. Let's feed some kids here. Goodness, I'm really tired this morning. And thank you again to all of our past donators. We really appreciate your help. Let's get to 20K. Anyway, back to you.
Alright. So we've just found out that the king of Altigo also doubles as the elder of Adonis Village, which is a ruined civilization off on an island just outside town. So he gives us permission to go ahead and see the water shrine, which is on Ruins Island. So when we pull up to Ruins Island, we're going to be approached by Gaius, the man that I lost the duel to earlier. And he's suspected that I've been chosen as the Dragon Warrior. So he wants to follow me and see what's up with that. And so he joins the party. He's the guy that gives the experience gain. So it's good to have him around. Here's a little skip coming up, if I can pull it off. Gonna be the same as the other one where I guard off this attack. I'm gonna commit to this even though it only saves a little bit of time, just because it's cool. All right, actually, I'm having second thoughts about committing. All right, never mind then. I'll point out where that was going to take me when I get to there. The annoying thing is that I don't have the underwater breathing charm yet, so this is the wrong way. So when I move through, even through like when I'm wading through shallow water, it'll slow me down because I guess I'm technically drowning. But anyway, that skip was going to send me to this door here, which I can open with a key that was given to me by King Kaimarl. So here's the one time where Aisha is going to be used for combat, because her extra skill is really fast. And it does enough damage to kill these guys. And this will unlock the Graphios Talisman, which lets me breathe underwater. So let's equip that, and it'll also increase my movement speed in water, like I mentioned earlier. I'm going to grab a chest here, which contains the Ogre Shield. It's a shield for Adol. It increases defense by a little bit. Defense isn't really a stat worth investing in my opinion, but it will also increase his strength by 10, so it's worth picking up. So this dungeon also incorporates some of the charms from past dungeons. So the wind cape will be coming back, and it will lift me up to this platform here, which has a chest inside containing the Knight's Crest. That is an equipable accessory that will increase my experience gain. But I'm not sure how much, to be honest. So that'll be good to get more levels more faster. And then in this chest coming up is the Estoque, which is a weapon for Adol. What it does is it changes its attack type to Pierce. And attack types are kind of like a weakness system. It's not really going to come up ever at all in the run. First equipment menu of the run here. But the thing about Adol's Pierce weapons is that when you charge an attack, it kind of makes him thrust forward, so movement got a little bit faster just now. And I also put Gaius in the party for his passive experience gain by 13%. And also because I don't need Aisha for movement anymore, now that I have Adol and the Estoque. Get flushed down the toilet here. I don't have the, that would have been awkward if I drowned. So here's a little skip for... Nope. I'll get it this time. This one I have to do. It saves way more time than the other one. There's like a whole puzzle with a statue that I'd have to do if I didn't do that skip. Alright, so here's the octopus. The octopus is terrible. I hate it. This guy only has 2 attacks that I can use to spam him. This is one of them. Hopefully I succeed. Alright, got it first try. Yeah, I just noticed a message in the chat about the item get jingle. So the composer for the first East game's name is Yuzo Koshiro. You might recognize that name from Streets of Rage and other games. And he, by his own admission, ripped off the item jingle from Metroid for the E series. It's not quite the same, but it's pretty darn similar. I haven't played any Metroid game, so I only know it as Samus's victory theme from Smash Bros. So I'm going to backtrack out of the dungeon, although I'm this time I'm able to make a shortcut to the entrance. And then, right outside the entrance of the dungeon is going to be a chest I want to pick up. And this has the Power Wrist 2 inside, which increases my strength by 20. I'm going to want to equip that, actually. I forgot to do this yesterday. And I'm going to take Gaius out of the party because I don't want Gaius to get too much experience. The lower the level you are, the more experience you get from fights, oddly enough. So there are parts where being too high of a level at one point will result in you being at a lower level later. And the experience route is pretty tight and takes this into consideration. So on our way off the island, we get picked up by the Altaginian army, I guess, and we immediately get arrested. Someone went and assassinated the king while we were gone and framed us. Kind of the damning evidence is that we were the last person he talked to before he died, so clearly that's enough to sentence us to execution without trial. And our method of execution will be death by boss fight. So there's going to be a Colosseum battle coming up. So they're going to give us a really weak weapon and a crappy shield. And 1 healing potion. So the strat here is going to be, I'm going to be hammering the guard button really hard whenever I can. Because that will fill up my extra gauge. I want my extra gauge to fill before his stun meter fills. About the 8th attack he does is going to be like a rolling wheel attack, and I'll be able to get a lot of extra off of that. Should be right now. There we go. I didn't get very much. See if I can get him here. This is a banger track. It bears a strong resemblance to a song by Sum 41. I forget what it's called, though. Or, ideally, I'd like to kill him while he's stunned, but I missed that, so I had to watch that animation where he gets mad. So Dogi and Gaius break out of jail and save us, and save me. And now Gaius wants, after he's been observing me and my kind of my pilgrimage around the Dragon Shrine, so he wants me to meet the Elder of Iska Village, or the Standing Elder of Iska Village, rather, since the real Elder is missing. So, Iskin Village is another ancient destroyed civilization, and the current present village is actually hidden away on top of this hill here. But we have, I guess we have some kind of magical power to perceive it or something. So we stand on this emblem here on the ground, and that'll teleport us there. This is the Moon Village, so I guess it's always night or something. Anyway, this is, I call him Clarius with an I, because I don't know how to say his actual name. Curious, maybe, if he's Irish. Anyway, he's telling us we have to go back to all the shrines again, and if we want to stop the apocalypse, we have to actually fight the dragons who are living inside the shrines, inside like a secret super dungeon. So I guess I have to go do that now. So sometimes when I'm holding like the D-pad for movement and I step on that, it'll kind of move the cursor to don't leave the village, and that's annoying. So I want to pick up this chest here. It contains a dragon energy drop, which will refill my skill points to full when I use it, and I'll be using that later. At this point, I'm just going to be backtracking all the way to the forest village again from here, so if there are any more donations, this would be a great time.
No good donations yet, but I will say, we still have another good incentive going on, even though Soul Blazer has a donated name for Tazbot. We still have another incentive for Spinetri to save and kill the animals. Big one. Currently $110 towards killing the animals, and surprisingly, $0 to save the animals. I don't think we can let that slide, guys. We gotta do something about that. Get those donos in, and let's also feed some children while we're at it too. Anyway, back to you.
Right. So even in casual play, I can't fast travel here because they take away your ability to warp. You have to reactivate all the warp points. And even though I'm taking the same path to get to this village, the other ones I have to take kind of alternate paths because I'm a wanted fugitive, and they've kind of stationed guards at various places throughout the map. They've put a couple new enemies here to keep it fresh. That giant pig wasn't there earlier. That's actually the same pig boss that we fought before, but he's green and I guess a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna talk to the elders here and making sure not to accidentally talk to the two guys that are standing near her, which is always an annoyance. Anyway, she's gonna give us kind of the incantation to access the Earth Sanctum beyond the Earth Altar. And she gives it to Elk, who will be doing that for her. Here we're gonna be approached by Sigrun, who's kind of Aisha's babysitter or something. She's going to replace her for now because Aisha is the heiress to the throne after the king was assassinated. It'll be a great time right now to equip the spike shoes as well. My cats are really pissed that I closed the door. Alright, I'll open that in a second. See if I'll give him a second chance to not walk on my desk. So here's the Earth Sanctum. The Sanctum dungeons are about twice as long as they really need to be. And have some more obtuse puzzles. They're not really my favorite parts of the game, but they technically do have to be done. Or so you think. Okay, so this is going to give me an unskippable, unfast-forwardable cutscene of the flower opening, so I'll just go and open my door real quick. Let the cat inside. I see some emotes in chat. They're very highly requested to see the cats. So there's a chest coming up that has 20 grand inside. More money is always good. Yeah, sorry about the temporary chair percent. I don't like to hear my cats upset and meowing, so I open the door. Alright, so that chest has 20 earth stones inside, so I actually have no more reason to be here. That is the last material I need to make the log hammer, which is the weapon that I want to synthesize at the shop. And that'll pretty much just let me finish the game, which I'll explain in a second. The log hammer is a weapon for a character called Mustafa, who we didn't see earlier. He was supposed to join during the Flame Shrine segment. And it teaches him a skill called Empower, because skills in this game, you learn them from your weapons. So what Empower does is you hit your allies with a hammer, and it will increase their strength, which is pretty cool, I guess. What it actually does for me is that while I'm using Empower, I can really quickly switch to one of my other characters, and then guard off of it really fast. And if I'm like being hit into a corner, it'll send me straight up. So that's the real purpose why I want this. Because if, let's say, for instance, the very final area of the game we're being guarded by an invisible barrier, it would be really convenient if I could send myself really high in the air and maybe clear that barrier and get into the final area of the game. So we'll see what I can do. I want to sell some weapons. And I'll sell the robe as well. And then buy a bunch of healing items. The good thing about easy difficulty in this game is that you can stack 9 of every healing item in the game. So I can just kind of chug potions. Actually, nah. And one of these and one more of those. Alright. I can just kind of chug potions during boss fights. Okay, so I want to do this. So I'm going to teach Mustafa Empower here. I'm going to disable every skill except for a skill called Provoke. I'll explain what that does. I actually want to put Mustafa in the party as well. I'll explain what that does when I use it. What disabling skills does is it makes it so that the AI won't use those skills when you're not controlling them. So I'm gonna go for like a little 9-second skip on the next screen, and that'll be the first instance you'll see of Empower launching. Actually, I should save. I don't think I hit the monument. If I fall out of bounds, then it's gonna be troublesome. Alright, second try. There we go. Oh, I didn't clear it, and I fell out of bounds. Alright, never mind then. You'll see the real power of Empower launching several times throughout the remainder of the run. Yeah, unfortunately, a side effect of me skipping all these Sanctum dungeons is that you don't get to hear the track that when you fight the dragon. I forget what it's called right now, but the boss music against the dragons is one of my favorites in the game. But you do get to hear this song, which is called "To Reveal the Way to Go." It's on some days this is my favorite track in the game. Legend of the Five Great Dragons, I think it's called. So I want to kill these enemies because and collect all their dropped loot so that my AI party members don't go chasing after it. Anyway, welcome to the final dungeon. The Well of Souls. The loading zone is here the whole time, even though I can't really access it yet, so I'm now at the end of the game. Skip some pretty cool boss fights, skip some annoying dungeons, skip some banger music. But all in the name of completing this game in under an hour 20. You know, I should save. In case I fall out of bounds again. Oh! Okay, never mind. So I can open that door normally with an item that I can have, but it's a little slow because there's a cutscene. Here I skipped about 3 rooms or so. Here's an annoying Prism Sundial puzzle. I have to turn these little prisms, and the light beams have to kind of point in a certain direction, and that'll get rid of these barriers. But these barriers are merely a suggestion, as I can just launch higher than them. How did I not get hit by that? I have to be really careful because I'm level 33 in like a level 55 dungeon, so I'll just get creamed if I get hit by anything. So that's a weapon for Gaius. I want to get some weapons for my party members, otherwise I can kind of skip this whole dungeon, or this whole section of the dungeon, because it's not really necessary. But I do want the weapons. I think I want Adol further in the corner here. There we go. And anyway, so I picked up a weapon for Gaius, I want a weapon for Dogi, and a weapon for Adol as well. So the weapon for Dogi is over here, in this next part. If Mustafa would come join me, that would be great. The save and loads are mostly to kind of stop Adol from running off while I'm trying to hit him. Another thing is that, like, I can kind of stop him from chasing after enemies if the screen is fading in while I use a skill. There's a death. Okay, hold on. I'll fix this in a second. Oh god. Alright, I have to bring Mustafa back. There we go. Alright, I saved it. If I can make it over this wall, that'd be fantastic. I don't think I'm going to. The problem is when I use a skill, Adol is going to like... Alright, hold on, I can do this actually. This is where the double turbo will come in handy. I can launch a little bit higher. Alright. Okay. Mustafa kind of got stuck, which would have been a problem, but I can kind of get him to come out by running away and making him respawn somewhere else. So I'm going to skip a few more rooms here by just launching over that wall. Here's another wall. Actually, I should, yeah. Because, I take damage from this wind here. So I'm coming up into, like, the very last room before the final boss rush gauntlet sort of thing, and I need levels. So I'm gonna come up on a section of this room where there's 3 enemies that have fairly low HP, are not too bad to kill, and also that's bad actually. Hold on, I don't want Mustafa to get hit. Because I want him to use his Empower skill, which lowers their defense to basically 0. Not Empower, Provoke. Otherwise, you saw I was doing 0 damage, and then when that red AoE hit them, it started doing like 200. But the trouble is, when Mustafa got hit, he got put to 1 HP, and when characters are at 1 HP, they don't attack or do anything, so... Or your AI, rather. So I had to reload after he got hit. Anyway, the goal here is level 58. And, kind of the method I'll be using to kill these enemies is I'm going to kind of group them up all in the same spot here. And then use Sword Dance, which is the skill I learned from the weapon I picked up. And that kind of hits everything at a small radius. It's good for killing all 3 of these guys at the same time. Not getting good positioning though, so it's not working out as efficiently as I'd like. And I keep pushing them off the ledge too, which is a problem. Because I'm not gonna go chase them off the ledge. That will just take too long to get back here. So the saving and loading, by the way, that just respawns them. I'm sure that was obvious by now. So once I reach about level 52 or 53, it starts becoming safe to just let them hit me, and that will give me an easier time of grouping them up. So this is where the Knight's Crest and Gaze's plus 13% experience multiplier really kind of comes in handy, otherwise this would take longer. And just a few more loads. Come on, don't fall off, thanks. Alright, I think I have to kill 2 more. We'll see. Yep, just 2. So I'm finished grinding now, and is off to fight the last few bosses. So, the odd thing about this route is that a boss is supposed to spawn here, but I guess for some reason he doesn't. I skipped over the trigger that makes him show up. Dogi, and then give you power 2. Which is strange, because you're not really supposed to be able to come here without doing everything else in the game first. So I don't know why there's a flag for the boss to spawn, but I'm not going to complain, because that's just one less boss I have to fight. Let me just triple check, make sure I did this correctly. Yep. Anyway, here's Tia, the girl from earlier on in the game. She's like a Armageddon goddess now. It doesn't make a lot of sense even in context, even though I did skip over a bunch of story. So, I'm just gonna kill her. Ideally, with this hit, I can take out this ad at the same time. And I didn't do it, but I was able to finish them off pretty quickly. So these ads like to pull and push me around. This fight is very movement-based. Tia kind of likes to just run, slip and slide around the screen. She's very dodgy. So kind of staying on her is pretty hard. Thankfully, I have my allies set to attack the same target as me, so that helps a lot, actually. So, I guess the last few fights of the game are pretty much just spam my strongest skills. Gotta actually take a potion here. This fight's not going very well. Should kill her here, though. There we go. Alright, so coming up is a 3-tier final boss fight. They're going to split my party up into 3 sections. 3 in the bottom, 3 in the middle, and just Adel on the top. So this first one's going to give me Dogi, which is nice. The boss is invincible until I kill these heads, which thankfully they all share a health bar, so I don't have to literally kill all 4 of them. And as you might have seen earlier on in the run, Dogi is really good at killing things very fast. Ah. Get out of there. Oh, okay. So he's stunned now. I can hit him for big damage. So pretty soon he's gonna. Oh, never mind. I just stunned him again. Yeah, this isn't gonna finish him off, but if I can't get him, then he's gonna open up again immediately, and this is gonna be kind of his warning, big attack coming phase. And just kill him here. All right, first phase done. Second phase is the most annoying one, I would say, because I'm forced to use Gaius here, which is the weakest, in general, member of this party. But the other 2 are kind of unusable because they were forced into the party because they weren't in the party when I entered the final dungeon. You're supposed to kind of join during the second half of the game, and so they were forced into the party here. And so, Aisha is like whatever level I left her at Ruins Island, I think 30. And Cruxy, who you haven't seen at all, is Mustafa's little sister. She's level 1. So, I can see she already got hit, I think. No, Aisha got hit, took a bunch of damage. They're really just no help at all. I have to solo this with Gaius. So, I want to kill this guy in 3 stun cycles, ideally. This is a pretty good pace to get it done. I think I have 9 of them, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's basically just spam my strongest skill, and then when he's about to be stunned, guard into my extra skill, which is kind of like he summons the fairies from E6 and they kind of attack when he attacks, I think. That's how that works. I have to be careful of this move. It can launch me high in the air if I'm guarding off of it, and I can fall out of bounds if I'm not careful. I don't know. Yeah, 28 is bad. Alright, so this is not phase 3 cycle anymore. Unless I, use my extra skill again. So it's a good thing that this thing is right here, because I can just guard off of it and hit a lot. Alright, get him. I'm dangerously low. Alright, so this is where I'm going to use the Dragon Energy Drop. I can get 2 cross crushes in a row. And second phase finish. So third phase is just Adol by himself. There's going to be 4 kind of ads I have to kill before I can actually hurt the boss. But when I defeat them, it'll take off a large chunk of his health each time I do it. Oh, hello. I missed. Alright, so go for now. So unfortunately with this being the final boss, despite that, it's not very exciting. I'm just going to be spamming Swords Dance a lot. It's kind of all I have. I didn't really pick up a lot of good weapons because I skipped most of the game. Or any good skills, any kind of good techniques. Do I want to heal here? Yeah, I will. Is he dead? He's not dead. Oh no. So, here's the actual boss. And like I said, I'm just going to be spamming Swords Dance and using my extra skill when it fills up. If I get lucky, he'll use giant lasers a lot. I can get a lot of extra and skill points off of that by turbo guarding it. This one's pretty good too for guarding. So I'll just use it now because I just got it. It's pretty satisfying to guard that move because you can't really see it before it shows up. And thankfully, because I can stock so many potions, just kind of standing in his face and tanking everything becomes viable. I can just chug potions if my health becomes a concern. Alright, so I'm going to be killing the boss pretty soon. Time is going to be at about 4 minutes after I kill the boss. Because ending is part of timing. Alright, last phase dead. Alright, so with the root of all existence vanquished, balance has been restored to the land of Altigo. All the natural disasters and diseases that have been happening are finished, and the apocalypse will not happen anymore. So yeah, the cloud of evilness, I guess, has been released from the village. We didn't really see it show up because I skipped that. Tia here is kind of a product of the root of all existence, so she just kind of disappears. That's her little sister. She says, "I'm sorry I couldn't show you Xanarkand." And here's an ending cutscene. This is not skippable for some reason. On the PSP it was, which is odd. But, the credits are skippable, so at least there's that. In fact, I'm going to set my Kiwami to auto-fire on the start button so that I don't have to remember to skip the credits. So while this cutscene's running, Palmy, if you have anything you want to tell us, you can go ahead and do that.
The only thing I'd like to tell you is thank you for your awesome run. I actually really enjoyed it. It was really hard to kind of keep pace, but I would love to see more of this game. Be sure to give this runner a good follow and go check out his Twitch channel. Because Jack seems to be pretty freaking awesome at this game, and the fact that he can play so smoothly is just impressive. We also got some more games coming up, so if you're going to stay tuned, I'd say highly recommend stay tuned. And we still haven't gotten any more donations in, so if you want to save animals for Super Metroid runs that are coming up later, get those donos in, because currently the animals are still lead to die at 110 to kill the animals and 0 to save. So if you want to save some animals, get those donos in, and also feed some kids while we're at it too.
I apologize about the loud music there. You can adjust the volume in game, but for some reason, like, this cutscene just ignores that. So I hope you're able to hear what he said there. So I think this narration is supposed to be Aisha, who is now Queen of Altago. Oh, fun fact, I never mentioned who actually killed the king, and I'm not going to, because if you only know this game from this run, you'll never find out, since we skipped the scene where he reveals himself, and I skipped the boss fight with him. So, I guess a fun game you can play during this cutscene is you can try to figure out who doesn't show up here. That's probably the guy that did it, and we killed him. My cats are here. Here's one of them. They're very upset that you're killing the animals. Now he wants to go. Okay, so I'll talk about end timing. It'll be when on the end screen it'll say Finn, and when Finn fades all the way in, that'll be time. I guess. Yeah, so timing is weird because you could skip both this cutscene and the credits. So it's sort of like, I guess it's sort of like JRTA timing, except for the credits are skippable. So a few more seconds. Here's the screen. And Finn. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was entertaining. 1:12:20, not a bad time at all. And I've been Jack. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Bramhall5th. Hopefully you figure out how to spell that, because I'm not going to spell it. And yeah, that'll be me. That'll be it. So goodbye, everybody, and thank you.